Hello, thank you so much for your interest in Belmont University. Welcome to a how-to video on how to apply as a freshman student. We are so delighted that you are interested in Belmont University and hope that this video helps give you an understanding of how to fill out the application and go through the application process. Through this video, we are going to talk about creating an account, filling out the application, submitting the application fee, and requesting supplemental items. A few key points to keep in mind: you can apply either through our Belmont online application, through BU4U, or through the Common App. We do not have a preference on which application you would rather use, but for this video, we are going to be filling out a BU4U application. In the application, we're going to list some general information. We're going to write an essay, write out our resume of activities. We have the option to include supplemental essays. And then if we are applying for spring or fall 2021, we are going to decide whether or not we want to be test optional. Belmont is test optional for 2021. We do not want any of our students to be at a disadvantage because they were unable to test during this very crazy time. So you will either say, yes, I am going to send in my test scores for Belmont to review, or no, I will not be sending in test scores and will be test optional. So let's have a little quick preview of what supplemental items that we'll need. If you do choose for us to review your test scores, we'll need ACT or SAT scores, we'll need your high school transcript, and a school counselor letter of recommendation. If you are a homeschool student, we will need a personal letter of recommendation from a non-family member. Let's go ahead and get started and go to belmont.edu. If you click on admissions in that top bar, this is going to be the page that you'll see. We are going to click the Create an Account tab underneath that BU4U account. And we have several options. You can either create an account, sign in, or if you've forgotten your password or gotten locked out of your account, we have options for that as well. For this video, we're going to go ahead and say create account. And so then you will just go through these processes to go ahead and create your account. We are also, for this video, going to be applying as a freshman undergraduate student. So we're going to click undergraduate create account form. We will go back over what some of those options are as we go back through our application. We can point out some of those items that you'll have already filled out through BU4U. Account creation, but once you have created your BU4U account, this is going to be your dashboard. So once you've submitted your application, this is going to be the place that you come back to check on the status of your application to make sure that all of your items have gotten submitted to us. If you look at these bottom options, we've already created our profile. We can start an application, complete our application, and submit supplemental items. Let's go ahead and click Start an Application. These are all the different options that we have of starting an application, but once again, we are going to click that top option, Undergraduate Application. Once we have selected and started that application, we are going to select our entry term, our academic level, and our academic program. So that entry term, for example, could be spring 2021 or fall 2021. An academic program is going to be your desired major. So lots of options there. So once you have selected those items, we are going to start filling out the application. So you can see on the side that we have these 6 different sections that we're going to fill out on the application: personal, plans, demographics, family, academics, writing, and signature. And as we go through, I want to encourage you to make sure that you notice what is required with that little red asterisk and what isn't necessarily required. So on this first page, we're going to fill out our personal information. Since you have created your BU4U account, a lot of that information should be pulled over so you can go through and verify that all of that information is correct. Moving on to the next tab for plans, we are going to once again verify that all this information is correct from when we started. Our admission type, once again, we are looking at that new freshman under student type, our desired major, and our anticipated entry term. We are also going to have the option to fill out, if you have selected new freshmen and new freshmen, then you are also going to see here that we have the preferred testing plan. So this is where you are going to say if you are test optional or not. And then you can see that you are going to list out your resume of activities. So on this, we want to hear about everything that you have been involved in for your high school years. So any extracurricular activities that you've been involved in, any jobs you've had, any volunteering you've done, any jobs that you've had or leadership roles you've held, any significant family responsibilities, any awards or accolades that you've received, anything that you have been involved in for these past years, please be sure to list those out. Here in this next section, you can see if you can decide if you want to apply to the honors program. If you have decided to apply, then you will select yes. And then the honors department will be in touch with you after you have received your admissions decision. This next tab is going to be on demographics. So you're going to list your citizenship status, so either US citizen, non-citizen, or permanent resident. You're also going to list your birth date, and please note that the social security number and birth country are not required options here, but you can fill those out. You are then going to have optional ethnic information if you would like to go ahead and fill that out. And then on the next page, we are going to have family. So you have the option to tell us a little bit more about your household, so your parents' marital status, and then you can fill out information about your parent or parents. There's also an option where you can list your parents' education. And so if you cannot find their institution, then you can press cancel and move to the next question. If your parent has the same address as you, then you can click yes, and you do not have to fill out their address again if they have the same address that you have. You also have the option to share if you have a legal guardian or if you have any siblings. Moving on, we are now going to fill out a little bit more information about academics. So if you are a homeschooled student, you will say yes. If you are not a homeschool student, then you are going to go ahead and list your high school. If you are unable to find your high school, then you can go down to unlisted school name and address, where you can enter your school's information. It could be that the school name is abbreviated, so please be sure to just go ahead and list it in the unlisted section if you are not sure. If you know what day you'll be graduating, then you can go ahead and select that in graduation date. And like this example shows, if you do not know your exact graduation date, then you can say the month, the first day of the month, and then the year that you anticipate graduating. You can also add another high school, and if you have switched high schools, then it may ask you to list that as well. If you have or will receive a GED, you have the option to fill this information out as well. If you have dual enrolled, have any kind of dual credit, then you also have an option to fill out here. Now, this is where we are going to fill out the essay. So these prompts are going to be the same in the Common App and BU4U. So you are going to fill out your essay of 250 to 650 words in this box. If you do exceed those 650 words, then your application will be you won't be able to submit it. You can also have the option to share if you want to talk about how you've been affected by COVID-19 in this community disruption. And then you are going to share disciplinary history. So please be sure to read that carefully to see if there's anything that you should be including there. We also have several other, here's another supplemental essay section. So if there's anything else you want to share with the admissions committee, you can click that here. You can also share with us how you heard about Belmont. And then here at the bottom, you are going to affirm the following before you sign, date, and submit your application. Yay! Let's talk about submitting the $50 application fee. If you have any questions about a fee waiver code, please be in touch with your admissions counselor. Otherwise, here is the information. It will take you to this page to fill out either with a credit or debit card to submit the $50 application fee. What's next? So we're going to go back to our BU4U dashboard, and we can see the supplemental items here at the bottom. So we can see that 3 items have populated. So on this list, you can see that we're going to need to fill out our transcript, our scores, and our school counselor letter of recommendation. We are going to need your official high school transcript sent to us by your school, and we're going to need your official test scores if you decide for us to review those scores, sent to us by either College Board, ACT, or on your official high school transcript. Going back to that list, you can go ahead and send a letter of recommendation to your school counselor. So you'll list their name, their email. You can decide whether or not you waive your right to access the requested recommendation. And then if you would like to add a personal note to your school counselor, you can. And then once you submit the request, it will send an email to your school counselor with the request to fill out the recommendation letter. Once we have received all those items, so your application, your test scores, if you want us to review those, your letter of recommendation, and your transcript, once we've received everything and your application file is complete, you're going to receive an admissions decision from us within 1 to 2 weeks. So it is a very quick turnaround. We are so excited that you are interested to Belmont and that you are applying. If you have any additional questions after watching this video about any of the items in the application process, please be in touch with your admissions counselor. We are here to help. If you go to the Meet Your Counselor page on the admissions page of belmont.edu, you can figure out who your admissions counselor is, to reach out to them, to email, to call them, to schedule a meeting with them, and we are here to help. We're so delighted that you are applying to Belmont. Thank you so much.